Alright, so this video is going to be part 3 of my Feeding Feral Cats series. It's going to be communal feeding. Basically, feeding feral cats could be a huge burden on yourself or anybody that is feeding feral cats. So, if you don't want that financial burden or this burden that it might cause on your schedule, then these are some huge tips that you could take and use. Communal feeding, feeding with a friend, a family member, or an acquaintance. You work out a schedule with somebody, whoever it might be, on when you are going to feed the cats. Now, if you're in a location like I am that has 4 feral colonies, all in a close proximity to each other, you could also work out, what locations are going to be fed. I feed 2 locations out here, and someone else feeds 2 other locations. That person's an acquaintance. I just happened to stumble upon them out here trying to feed the cats at the same time that I was. So that worked out perfectly. You have to make sure that you and whoever else is feeding your feral cats are feeding them the same food, because there will be times when the other person says, "Hey, I can't feed my locations tonight, could you cover them for me?" You say sure, or you send someone else in their stead, and you just want to make sure that the cats are always eating the same food. If cats are fed a completely different food than what they're used to, it could mess with their digestive system, they could vomit, they could have diarrhea, and you do not want that happening with feral cats, especially since their availability to water might not be all that great. And you do not want feral cats to be dehydrating. Another thing is you want to make sure that you're naming all cats. That way, if you see an injured cat or a cat that has just something questionable and you want to relay that to the other person, they'll be able to know who you're talking about. Because, if you see the cats out here, you can tell that there's plenty of tabbies, there's plenty of brown cats. The descriptions for all of them is just so vague that, you won't know exactly which one is being spoken about. Another thing is have a contingency plan if neither of you can go feed the cats. Now, it doesn't just have to be 2 people. You can have as many people as you want feeding cats. You could have a different person go every day of the month if you wanted to. But I do not recommend overexposing your cats. You want your cats to be used to you and not used to everybody, because if they're used to everybody, that really opens up the possibilities of them running into somebody that might be dangerous. And you want to avoid that at all costs. So, I think that's it. That's all you really need to know about feeding feral cats with friends, family members, and acquaintances. So yeah, happy feedings.